Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of GoTigers247 Film Room. I am your host, Christian Fowler, and joining me, as always, is former Memphis offensive lineman Gabe Kuhn. Today, Gabe, we are breaking down Memphis's 52-33 victory over ULM. And before we get started, as always, I need your brief takeaways from Saturday's game.
Defensively, not as good. They didn't tackle as well. But I still think they're holding up better than they have in years past. They're giving up field goals where usually they would give up TDs. Offensively, I thought Brady White played a really good first half. Toward the end of the second half, he had some struggles through a pick. But overall, Kenny Gainwell is absolutely ridiculous.
Can't say enough about him.
And this team is going to go as he goes.
So without further ado, Gabe,
let's get to the plays. Anyways,
all right.
Start nice and easy here. 2nd and 10. Kenny Gainwell, of course, starts it off with a bang as usual.
Did he have a good game?
And yeah, he did. He seemed to have a good game. But this is they ran this last game as a sort of a counter. They bring the tight end around instead of the tackle.
And Cameron Wilson has been killing it blocking.
And I'll tell you one thing they're about to start doing. A lot of teams are about to start spilling this. We call this a spill when they try to take inside and you close it off, so they give you a soft edge.
Right.
A lot of times they'll try to make you get the kick out, but this time they just give you the soft edge, and there's so much room to maneuver. And, you know, he doesn't really have to make anybody miss and just falls forward for an easy first down.
Nobody can tackle him one-on-one. I'm surprised you don't like that Cameron Wilson block, though.
No, it's good. It's good. It just closes him off. I mean, it's a spill, and he closes it off, and there's an easy lane.
That's 6'7", 260 moving out there.
Yeah, and he had a TD later in this game.
He did.
So he's an up-and-comer, and I want to see him do more as we go forward.
Continue. And like we talked about last week with Sean Dykes out, he's definitely going to get more opportunities.
Yeah, he's going to have to be there. And the thing is, I think just given his size, he was probably a better inline blocker.
Absolutely.
That's probably who they're – tell me if I'm mistaken, but – he was already on goal line.
Yeah, they've been using him in the blocking game.
As a block. Yeah.
Absolutely, but you just see him more and more. We get into our first defensive play.
3rd and 6.
This is better than the rest of the defensive plays for the most part.
So this is a great dialed-up blitz.
The stunt here and the blitz called here from Adam Fuller is the reason that this play is on here, because I think it continues to show the creativity that he uses.
And what I like is he splits the difference up here with this guy on the logo, and sort of makes it seem like it's coming from both sides, and they run this sort of wheel blitz. They bring Jonathan inside, and Zay Collins just has an easy lane straight to the quarterback. And I don't know about you, but if there's a guy breathing down my neck like that while I'm throwing the ball, I probably would not deliver a good ball just like this.
Especially not in the triple coverage, and Carlito Gonzalez makes a good play.
And he got spanked after the play as well. I think Carlito actually undercuts this guy too.
Oh, yeah.
I would not want to catch that was probably, look, he brings his knees up. He is terrified.
Well, that's what you can't hit high anymore, so you gotta hit somewhere.
I guess so, but geez, Carlito is definitely a big hitter, and I like what he did here. The guy jumped up and he just goes straight for his legs, goes for the flip, goes for the big hit, and it works out. It works out. He was laying on the ground. Dead for ass.
Yeah,
let me run that back for a second.
Wasn't feeling good after that. But
yeah, homie, look at you don't go face mask straight down in the turf like that normally. He was not loving life right there.
But we'll definitely see more from Josh Peterson later, because he
he
had a nice game.
Yeah, that is true. Now we have Big Set in. We have our guy JoJo in here. And they just run an inside zone. This is weird because usually when they get in this big set, they like to run G lead.
Right.
They're trying to show different looks out of this. And when you bring this condensed look with all these guys inside, sometimes, like you'll see here, it condenses the defense. And it just makes a lot of space out here on the edge. If you contain all of it, look at all this running room.
Yeah, look at everybody's in the box, so if you get a hat on a hat, that's what happens.
Yeah, there's no one there ready for it.
Here's the question. Does Brady White trip on his own, or does he get tripped?
I think let's see. I think he got stepped on by Dustin Woodard. And
that makes it look a little better.
Yeah. This happens from time to time, especially in these tight type of plays when you're really just trying to get 1 yard. That D line is coming straight for your knees.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not worried about anything else besides trying to stop penetration. They don't want you to ride them off the ball because that's the easiest way to get that 1 yard that they want. but they just run an easy inside zone, and he bounces it. And this is where we not finally, but you say, how fast do you really think he is comparatively to when we look at a Darrell Henderson, we look at a Tony Pollard? I think he's right up there with him.
I think he's up there with him. He's definitely not as fast as Darrell Henderson because, I mean, if Darrell Henderson sees any daylight, he's gone. I think he's more close to Tony Pollard's speed, maybe a little bit slower right there with him, but definitely has speed to burn. There's no question about it.
And I definitely want to point this out on the outside. Calvin Austin is not the biggest of dudes, but doing the downfield blocking is always a big emphasis on a Mike Norvell offense to spring this into the end zone, and that's exactly what it does. You have one guy, all he has to do is cross this guy up, easy finish.
Which he does.
Of course he does. Easy finish. And Kenny Gainwell has shown through these first couple games that he has gotten to play a big role in, that he is of the, not just the conference's elite, but the nation's elite.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I think he's starting to get comfortable.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Which is scary.
Yeah, for the rest of the conference. And I think a lot of teams are about to start keying on it. And especially when you look at a team like Temple, they're going to start keying on this run and trying to make Brady White throw over top and beat him.
And I think that does open up the passing game, obviously.
Of course. Right here, they're giving a lot of space, play action. And the problem here is,
you bring a safety blitz and you don't get home.
Yeah, you bring a safety blitz, but I think more than anything, you watch J.J. Russell here. He just gets himself a little. He looked
lost. Yeah,
he gets himself a little out of place. And
he tucked under a little bit. I believe he's supposed to be straight drop to the middle of the field, and he kind of sinks over there.
He's sinking over here to this hash when all he has to do is play back a little farther.
Right. And if he's there, then there's no big gain off of this play at all. If he's in the right
and
spot.
Obviously I think whoever this is, I think Thomas Pickens sort of messed up in his coverage a little bit here. Tried to pass it off, and it just didn't. Yeah. And it didn't pass off the way he wanted it to. Just a miscommunication in the secondary. It happens from time to time, especially. And this is the first time they've really seen a passing game that has some life to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, just being real. You talk about the teams they've played in Navy and Southern and South Alabama. Their pass game didn't really have a pulse.
Not at all.
I mean, just to be real. So I think going forward, when I look at Adam Fowler and how he makes adjustments, I think he'll make a lot of adjustments coming out of this game.
Absolutely.
In the pass game and tweak it.
I think he was able to see a lot on film. He saw the way that his guys reacted to big pass plays, to guys taking shots down the field, especially the middle of the field. They used the middle of the field all game. So I think that, this week against Temple, you'll see a lot of adjustments in the passing game. I think they'll roll linebackers a lot more because J.J. Russell, who's typically very good in pass coverage, struggled a lot.
A little bit. And I think when you see it, teams that have a more diversified pass game, these linebackers are going to have some missteps. But at the same time, I think most of the time they'll be in the right positions. Caleb Evans, he threw pretty well, but I'll tell you one thing: he knows how to make a guy miss.
Yeah, his legs are really what killed Memphis' defense.
He killed Memphis' defense on this.
Look at that, you're
and
right.
this is actually a really good job here by who is this? Everett. Everett. That's Everett Cunningham.
We've watched Everett take this dive so much over the past 2 weeks now.
And also, I think there's sort of like, especially with the missed tackles, do you think it's sort of like a hangover from playing Navy?
Oh, yeah.
I think there's definitely something to be said about a defense coming off that game.
Yeah, on a road trip, they got ran. I mean, how many times did Navy run the ball last week? 50 plus times.
Sickening.
Yeah.
Like when you get into another game, it becomes hard. And then out here, you just have, it's a 2-on-1, but this quarterback sort of makes his blocker correct.
Yep.
And that's all he does. I believe is this Thomas? No. That is Landry Thomas.
And Sanchez.
He plays into number 86, and Caleb Evans sort of puts his foot in the ground and gets north when he probably should have forced him outside into Sanchez out here.
Right.
And it just sort of backfires, skips into the end zone, makes a play for ULM.
Now this is
where was the holding? Where was the holding on this? There wasn't. It was phantom because I was watching this. I was wondering too.
This is just I'm better than you football from DeMonte Coxey. He absolutely dominates. I think it's this corner that he's on right now.
Yeah,
he dominates him all the way down the field and buries him, and they call a hold on him. But the play design off the rip is just beautiful.
That's what I was gonna say. They do this pass protection all the time where they pull this guard,
right,
and they make it look like a drop back pass, and that's just what they do here. Except they get a leak out to the short side of the field, and it's wide open.
And how many times has ULM seen running, quick screens. Yeah.
This is the hold.
That's the hold. That's what they call it. It's just a dump. He just dumps him.
These refs ought to be ashamed of themselves. That's inside the framework. There's nothing that he did wrong there.
I think we have another view on this one that you can see a little better. So if you keep it rolling, you can see the whole block coming right at you.
That's good to see this big dude right here.
Yeah, Obina's out there.
Obina out here, yeah.
You can see DeMonte at the top of the screen.
What?
Where's
the hole?
He's inside the pads.
It's called being bigger and stronger than your opponent, people, and that's what this is. I don't know where the hold is. I think it's a phantom holding call.
I mean, he's inside. He's inside the pads, and he just takes him to the ground.
The one thing that bothers me about how some of these refs call holdings is they look for signs, and they don't actually look for the whole play.
Right, because when you see a DB falling forward, you're thinking that he has him on the inside, yanking him down, and he didn't.
It's just not the case there. They look for the warning signs and not necessarily the actual hold.
Right.
And that's a problem at times, but it happens. That's football.
I think here we go to the
Cameron Wilson.
touchdown.
This is do you think they thought G Lead was coming? This is funny because I love what Mike Norvell does here. He has not shown any play action off this G Lead all year. The right guard's going to pull, and it looks just exactly like what we've talked about all year. JoJo's leading up through. Kenny's right here. Watch Cameron Wilson.
He sells it.
Leaks out the back wide open. I mean, I don't know how you stop that. Just a good play design, good timing more than anything. Look at this.
Yep, JoJo.
Look at JoJo
knew
the hands up. Yeah, he already knew it was a touchdown before it even happened.
But this is just understanding what you put on film. Mike Norvell knows that inside the 5-yard line, he's put that G Lead on film so many times already this year. So that is exactly what they're expecting. And then you leak a tight end out there that I don't think he's caught a pass all year. So they're not expecting it at all.
And Louisiana Monroe is going to sell out against this run because they just feel like they're not as big and not as talented up front. So they're going to sell out, bring their safeties down, bring their linebackers down, and do whatever they can to try to stop the G Lead. Yep. And I honestly, if I think they run G Lead here, it might. No, they had it unblocked that. But I mean, regardless.
Yeah, it stopped if they run G Lead more than likely. So great play call.
Beautiful play call. Good celebration. Like to see a new guy get in there. But yeah, I mean, literally, there's nobody anywhere.
That linebacker that Cameron Wilson went on was thinking run all day.
They have one guy covering anybody out here, number 13, and
that was probably their key. They were probably thinking if they're going to go play action, they're going to go to Joey, and that's when you sneak a guy like Cameron Wilson out.
Beautiful play design, easy touchdown.
Here's Caleb Evans hurting them again. I think at this point in the game, you see this touchdown right here to Josh Peterson, and I think Memphis is just thinking when they're inside the 10 with Caleb Evans, we're selling out to him running the football.
That's exactly what it was. Austin Hall, you're down a guy, so now you have to have a pass off here. Jacoby Francis would have to come off and pass off this guy getting into the flat. It's just too hard. You're down a guy because you blitzed him, and I mean this is just a sellout to try to get a havoc play in the red zone so they can force the 3 instead of the 6, and it just doesn't work out. Gamble doesn't work out sometimes, and it's just sort of how it worked out here.
Right, and that's a minute and a half left before half, and I think that's a big momentum shift for ULM. I think that really helped them going into halftime to let them stay around, let them know that they could score on Memphis, and then obviously they end up continuing to play well in the second half.
I pointed this out on my Twitter, but like. What are these uniforms? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but, like, they're 2 shades of gray. They got teeth on the shoulder pad.
I mean,
did you like them?
Well, I think it was World War II appreciation.
Let me shut my mouth then.
Which, I mean, when you think about I think it's the old fighter planes. They have the warhead on them. So I get it, but the design. See, now you made me feel bad. But the design was bad. The design was bad.
All that, man. You made me feel bad. Look at this.
The thought was wonderful. Design was terrible.
And of course, Kenny Gainwell.
You think ULM's still seeing Kenny Gainwell run all over them?
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
they're going to have a hangover for a while from this one.
This tells me all I need to know about Kenny Gainwell right now.
I don't get this play design, though. Do you get it?
No.
I don't understand. They fake the counter left here. You'll see the tackle, Scotty Dill pull, and I believe Dustin Woodard here, the center, will pull. And they leave.
So you have no puller on the linebacker coming out on the other side, on the play side.
I think this play design doesn't make sense, but Kenny Gainwell makes it make sense. Yeah. It's a one-on-one, I guess. Like I don't know what the idea was, but he makes it happen. And is that a face mask as well?
Yeah, in real time
it
it looked like one. I don't think they called it either. It looks like
but
one in real time.
Let's rewind this. Like,
this is just I'm better than you again. This is I'm better than you.
He gets him 9 yards in the backfield, shakes off the tackler, ends up making it a 17, 18-yard gain. I mean, this guy's just good. And my guy is better than your guy. But again, I don't want to see that. That play design is not anything that I would want to replicate.
Because if you have a pull out there on that linebacker, that could be a touchdown.
If you have a sure tackling linebacker, that's a loss.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't expect Kenny Gainwell to make all those plays for you.
No.
And that was just a weird sort of out of pocket weird play.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
Kenny Gainwell bailed them out.
Yeah, but
right
it's
here,
on here.
right
just
here.
To
This
show.
is us right here. Antonio Gibson.
Man,
we called it 2 weeks ago. We look like freaking geniuses.
His run after catch is crazy, and I think sort of the focus on Coxie out here on the outside has definitely helped him.
Oh, it definitely. I mean, he gets one-on-ones. When you have DeMonte Coxie, Antonio Gibson, and the rest of the wide receivers are going to get one-on-ones, and Antonio Gibson has made the most of those opportunities in the past couple weeks.
So what they do is they just move the pocket here to the left. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Brady White rolling out left.
No.
But if you have a one-on-one on a corner route,
and if you roll it back, he makes him completely turn. It's the same thing
we
he did
saw
to the naked safety last week.
The exact same thing he did last week, where the guy turns his hips the wrong way,
and he's gonna make you pay.
All you do is an easy throw and catch,
Brady puts it on him.
Let me cut back.
He should not be able to move like that at that side. I mean, he's 6'2".
Oh, and this is my favorite part.
He throws the Tyreek Hill, throws the deuces.
Yes, sir.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, that's a little swag. He's playing with confidence. You like to see that going into conference play because we know this Temple game is going to be real.
Yeah, and going back to talking about AG, he only had one catch. I think one catch for 50 yards was all he had in the touchdown. But they're handing him the ball. They're targeting him like. Mike Norvell and the offensive staff know that he's a playmaker, and I think as the season goes on, he's going to get the ball more and more.
Absolutely. When people are keying on these other guys, when they key on Kenny, when they key on Coxie, I think they're going to start keying on him a little bit.
They might have to.
He's had a bunch. I mean, I think he's every game this year, or 4 straight games, he's had a touchdown.
Yeah.
So this is a guy that people are going to start keying on, but when you have to key on so many different people, that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah, what can you do? And again, Caleb Evans hurting the Tigers defense with his legs.
I think this is the missed tackle.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he gets it right up the middle. Just an easy zone read. They tackle the dive, and we have to get the safety up here, make this play. Ducks his head a little, breaks down, and to be honest, Caleb Evans is shaky.
Yeah, he is.
To be fair,
and I'm not sure what safety that is. I think it might have been Sanchez. Can't really.
Yeah, you can't tell the number from here.
Sanchez or Carlito, more than likely.
Yeah,
but makes a miss,
gone.
and then he's off to the races.
And but
Londre Thomas is pretty
flying,
quick.
Man. He got up in a hurry, but it's just a little too little, too late.
Yep.
Good job by Caleb Evans, though. We got to admit, this guy really did have some game. He had some game, and I think moving forward, they're going to have to realize that they're going to have to key on more guys like this down the stretch. They're going to have Shane Buechele out of SMU. They're going to have Anthony Russo out of Temple. They're going to have Justin McMillan, who can make plays on his feet as well as in the air from Tulane. So there's quarterbacks down the stretch that are going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, the quarterback play just improves from here, really.
Exactly, and just in general, the team.
Yeah, the team. Yeah, the team's overall.
And then this, okay.
So
Brady up to this point, played a good game.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Brady yet. He played a very good game, 15 of 23, 249, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The reason I put this on here is not to bash Brady because, like I said, he had a very good game. I think he's a big reason why Memphis ended up winning this game. But I think this kind of shows you when he has to improvise, when he has to do, and this is something that we talked about last week.
The blitzing and the head spinning.
Yeah, and he just kind of forces throws, and this is one that's forced to Joey Magnifico. He could have thrown this one in the dirt or went through his progression, taken a sack, anything but throwing an interception at this point because you're only up 13. ULM is making some plays. You do not want to turn the ball over here.
I have to give credit to the O-line here as much as there is some pressure. This is a delayed blitz. This ain't easy to pick up. They bring 2 extra guys, and they get bodies on them.
Yeah.
And he's able to step up in the pocket.
This had nothing to do with the block.
Oh, absolutely. But when you look and you see pressure like this at times,
Manny Arona Lopez,
if
really you go back, that was just an incredible pick.
And Obina does a really good job of finishing this guy as well.
Yeah. So good blocks everywhere. He just feels like he has to rush it. He just feels like he has to rush it there. You've got unders. You could dump that to DeMonte under.
And I have to say, with where UL Monroe was going with this game, they're down by 13 right here.
Yeah.
This is a crucial mistake at a crucial time. He's lucky that the defense sort of figured it out, and we'll get to those plays. But this is a crucial mistake at a very crucial time, and he hadn't really made a mistake at this point.
Right. And
I think we have another angle as well.
I think you're right, and it's just decision making, and I think he does make good decisions. And here, I want to watch this block from Manny Arona Lopez again. Good combo, and then gets to the blitzer.
Yeah, you'll see that's a good pickup on a delayed blitz. That is not an easy pickup. That's good teaching right there. Obviously, I do think the O-line had their struggles though. There was some 3-man pressures that ended up getting home. Weirdly enough, I think Dustin Woodard made some very uncharacteristic mistakes. But I think overall this O-line is still in a learning process. And obviously, I think Dylan Parham will be back. Isaac Ellis, obviously, here at left guard. But I think this group will regroup and figure it out.
Absolutely. But when you, like I was saying, when you look up, he can dump that. He can just take the 2 or 3 yards, slide, punt the ball, play defense. Instead,
Absolutely.
you just kind of force it. I see what he's. I mean, you can see.
You
really
can see
well
what he
from
says,
this
but
angle.
if you're gonna throw it,
you got to throw it.
You got to throw it here to his right,
outside shoulder.
You got to throw it here to his right, toward the middle of this.
Because
ULM.
I believe this linebacker, number 1 linebacker, safety, or whatever, when he gets him to move, if he makes the throw on the outside shoulder.
I mean, truthfully, I don't know if Joey thought that this guy was behind him too. I don't think Joey knew, because I think Joey flashed his hand right here. Well, I think we'll see it from another.
And he does float up the field as well. He doesn't come back for the ball. He floats up field there. So it's a little bit of mistake on both parts, but
at the end of the day, you don't want to make a mistake like that improvising.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And because in the end of the day, if you're improvising and you throw a pick, that's on the quarterback.
Yep.
Right here, he flashes the hand.
And he keeps drifting back and had no idea that guy was there.
Didn't go attack the ball, and it happens sometimes. But in this situation, you don't want to see something like this happen and come back and bite you. They could have cut this to 6 points.
Yeah.
And that would have been crucial at this time in the game.
Yep.
Now, right here is where they get a really good defensive stop. And
this is like the first play, the first incompletion we looked at from ULM. Adam Fuller is so good at dialing up these blitzes in the perfect time. And 4th and 8, I like to see a defensive coordinator be aggressive and come with the blitz.
This takes it a step past aggressive. This is a cover 0. Bring everyone. Yep. Like you bring these delayed guys here. You make Caleb Evans think that this guy at the top of the screen's taken up for a second, so he switches his eyes, brings him to the bottom of the field, and at that point, all of his guys are taken up right there. It's cover 0. It's man to man, and they're sort of locked up. And the thing is, cover 0, it means that you have man to man. There's nobody up top. There's no safety.
No safety on the field.
So that's the biggest difference when you bring a blitz like this. It has to land.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally has got to land. And I think Caleb Evans realized, oh no, I am going to get hit if I don't get rid of it. So.
Yeah, you tell your defensive backs here, we need a 2.5, 2 seconds of coverage, and we have to get home. And that's exactly what they do.
When you have 8 yards that they have to cover, you better land it in a couple seconds, or this just won't work.
But they did. They had good coverage.
And the thing that gets me is, like, you bring all these guys, except the one that lands is your normal tackle. Yep. He has a guy for him that's getting blocked. But I mean, your normal D end, and the tackle's blocking him.
Yep. But that's a big play.
Neither here nor there.
Big play.
1st and 10, Caleb Evans. We didn't get the whole thing on here, but I have to imagine, from just seeing how open this guy is, this has got to be the biggest miscommunication they've had all year.
Yeah. We haven't seen guys running wide open like this. And I alluded to Josh Peterson hurting Memphis, and he certainly did. Son of Doug Peterson. Did you pick up on that?
I did pick up on that. Somebody told me that later after the fact. I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
But that is pretty cool.
Maybe
this is just a miscommunication. You see, I think this is Jacoby Francis just sitting down here. The safety ran up as soon as the play started, and I mean, that's just too easy.
Yeah, don't get any easier than that.
Yeah, pitch and catch.
That's something we haven't seen from the defense. This defense has not made big mistakes like that this year. So,
and at this point in the game, this is where a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, what do you do? Do you go conservative? Do you try to ice this thing away? you can go conservative and still score TDs apparently because you have Kenny Gainwell on your side.
This is the first play after the touchdown, I believe, or
yeah, it's 1st and 10. 1st and 10 from the 32. It's got to be.
And
this is good blocking.
This is following your blocking. Like he hugs.
Scotty Dill was on the PFF college All-American Athletic Conference list, and this is a big reason why. I want you to watch. I want you to spot shadow this right tackle right here. We've seen this technique before on his outside zones where he tries to get the hook, tries to get the reach, and then he throws that inside arm. This time he absolutely manhandles this guy.
Puts
into
him
the
on
ground.
his back.
Really good job by Scotty Dill there.
Joey Magnifico's seal right there just gets enough because that backside penetration could get there.
And then Obina here as well. This is not easy block. You got to get down on this 3 technique playing outside shoulder of this guard. That's not easy, especially when he's flowing away from you.
And he's just a reach block. You just got to get there.
He gets there and he keeps running with him, stays with it. And look at that lane. Like that, and then the burst, the one cut ability that Kenny Gainwell has. This safety comes down. He has no chance.
That's what we talked about last week. The first play from scrimmage last week against Navy, the 75-yard touchdown. Just Kenny Gainwell's one cut ability. See the hole, make the cut, and go. And that's what he does so well.
And this is what you like to see too with a back. 23's giving up.
Yeah,
he
gave up at the 30.
He's too fast.
No shot.
He's too fast, and I think that this is one of the best plays that they had of the entire game in the run game, and they had a lot of them.
And this is when you needed it most. I mean, your offense has been struggling. Your defense just gave up a touchdown. What do? You rely on probably your best offensive player right now.
And I gotta imagine, going into this series that Mike Norvell's not thinking about, okay, let's get a TD on this first play. He's thinking, okay, let's run it as much as we can, try to get as many first downs. We're in the 4-minute drill. 4-minute means we're trying to ice this game away.
Right. We
have the lead. We have the ball. We're trying to run as much clock off so this other team has no shot to get back in it. And if something like this happens, you ice the game away easily.
Yeah. And it's something we've seen them do all year. They've been good in the 4-minute drill. They haven't taken shots in the 4-minute drill at all. It's been runs, screens, and I'm sure that's what the strategy was on that drive. But when you have a home run hitter like that, then you can make some separation in the game.
Absolutely. And then there was a lot of talk about how this defense struggled, and I think they did to a certain extent. But also, I think Louisiana Monroe, their offense put them into some pretty tough situations, some situations they haven't been in. Yeah. But you like to see them end it off with a bang and sort of show that they are superior.
Yeah.
Right?
And they also had the 2 4th-down stops in the second half that were big when the offense was struggling, and then they get this really to just seal the game.
Yeah, and again, this is sort of sometimes it's good to be lucky.
Yep.
And they bring J.J. Russell off the edge, force him to throw hot, and he does so. Guy drops it right into his hands.
Yeah, you can see if you look at Caleb Evans' feet there, run it back. He is not in position at all to make this throw, and that's what happens. Like you said, when you have that blitzer off the edge, his feet aren't set. He just kind of he's at an awkward angle with a throw to the inside. His foot's aiming out, and he throws it inside, and that's why you get a little high. And tips off his hands.
Yeah, you got to make that catch.
Yeah, you definitely got to make that catch.
That is an issue, but at the same time, regardless of the situation, LaAndre makes a very timely play and finishes this game off with a complete bang. 50 points on the board.
Yep.
Always fun to see.
So, Gabe, the way we typically end the episode is by discussing this week's matchup, which we will get to the Temple game. But first, Kenny Gainwell, 14 carries, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, currently 8th in the country in rushing. He's the only running back inside the top. He has the least amount of carries for running backs inside the top 10. He also has the highest average yards per carry in the top 10. He is the best Memphis running back since.
Oh, wow. I would say since D'Angelo Williams. When you look at what Darrell Henderson did last year, he did incredible things. He ran for 1,900 yards. His average was crazy. It's very similar numbers to what Kenny has put up through his 4 games here starting. But when I say this might sound a little crazy, but from a skill set point of view, I think Kenny Gainwell is better. I think he can do more. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He still has the home run ability. He uses those zone lanes. He can do a lot more zone running. He runs in between the tackles. He doesn't take a lot of losses at all. And when you watch Darrell last year, there was, it'd be a 0 yards, 3 yards, -2, 85.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Kenny, there's always positive yards. There's always falling forward. And I think it's just the most interesting thing to watch a young guy come into his own and have this much confidence this early in his career.
And I think the only way to compare it, because Darrell Henderson was a junior last year and obviously went on to the NFL. He had a massive season. But his his freshman year, he did play. And he was the home run hitter guy. He was just we're gonna spread you out. We're gonna get you in space. You're gonna go score touchdowns. He wasn't reading defensive lines and linebackers like this and making these cuts and catching the ball out of the backfield and doing everything that Kenny is doing in his fourth game of his redshirt freshman season.
The production's not even comparable, especially when you think about the age. But at the same time, I just what he's able to do for the pass game, what he's able to do as far as reading those down linemen, those linebackers, and he can block a little bit. This guy can do it all, and he's only 4 games in. And the future is so bright with him. It's going to be a pleasure to watch him down the stretch here.
Absolutely, Gabe. Well, with that being said, let's move on to this week's matchup against
Big one.
Big game.
Big one.
On the road in Philadelphia. What are we looking for? What does Memphis need to do to get a win?
You know what they're going to have to do is play some good defense.
Absolutely.
This is going to be the best offensive and defensive team. Defensively, I think Ole Miss had some juice as well. But you see what happened in that game. They only scored 15 points. So we're going to have to see Brady White be the guy to go to. Because I know for a fact when you look at Temple and what they do on defense, they're always hard-nosed. They're always big. They're going to assert their will at the point of attack. I'm not saying that the O-line and Kenny Gainwell won't be able to run the ball, but I will say this. They will try to stop the run, and Brady White's going to have to beat them with their arm. With his arm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you because I think they do key on Kenny Gainwell. I think we will see some creative stuff in the run game. I think it can't be G Lead, G Power all game. They can't do that.
They're going to diversify.
Right.
They're going to diversify. And when you look at Temple, that's a good offensive team too, but I will say this about Anthony Russo. He can sling the ball around, but he tends to make mistakes. And what we have to see is Brady White make less mistakes than Anthony Russo, his counterpart, because he will put the ball in harm's way and he will throw a couple picks, and they're just going to have to take advantage of that. And they have to make sure that Temple can't take advantage of any mistakes they make.
Absolutely. So this will be the toughest game of the season?
Absolutely. Not even a question.
First true road test. I know they've been in Monroe, they've been in Mobile, but first true road test going to Philadelphia. It's one they need to win, because they come back home for Tulane next week. So this 2-game stretch is difficult, and as we know, the rest of the season is pretty tough for Memphis. This was the easy part. Getting to 5-0 was the easy part. Now they have to go
Now it's the gauntlet.
Yeah, they have to go win some tough games at this point, but that is all for this week. We're going to get out of here. Make sure to head over to GoTigers247.com and check out all the content we have there. Check out Gabe and his brother Alex's podcast, the TKT podcast.
Plugging it for me.
That's everywhere. You have that on every platform, right?
Yeah.
Apple
Well, we have it on Apple Podcasts, and we also have it on Podomatic. And those are the only 2 platforms.
Absolutely. So go make sure to check that out. These 2 guys talk about just about everything. So if you're wondering about a topic, whether it's NFL, college football, these guys cover it. Make sure to go check it out.
Good plug, dude.
Hey, I got you,
Thanks,
bro.
man.
Always got you. Make sure to come back next week. We'll be breaking down the Temple game. And as we said, we know what they need to do to get a win. So let's go see what they do against Temple.